I started meditating when I was 16 years old, and it wasn't every day. It was like maybe once in a blue moon, once every few months, or sometimes I'll have a week where I'll meditate every day and then I'll forget about it for another few months or whatever. And I heard from so many people that I watched on YouTube, because I was just getting into this stuff, personal development, and wanting to make myself better, make my life better, eliminate bad habits and stuff like that. So I got into a lot of stuff, and everybody talked about meditation. So I pretty much overlooked it because of the way our minds work with habits and patterns, and like the way that connections in the brain are so solid that just by sitting there and doing nothing, it is painful. It actually hurts. It hurts a lot to just sit and do nothing. And it should be the easiest thing to do ever, right? I mean, with the list of benefits, like the health benefits, the mental benefits, the crazy stories you hear about people who heal themselves through meditation and all this, or heal like years worth of mental illness with meditation. You'd think that, okay, this will be easy to do. I have a lot of reasons, and all I have to do is nothing. I just have to eliminate things from the world of the senses, and that's it, right? But it's a lot more difficult than people think, and also it is very elusive, and you're constantly wondering whether or not you're doing it right. So I wanted to sort of like get this clear, because I'm still a beginner. Technically, I think I'm still a beginner. I've been meditating for, I've done hundreds of meditation sessions. I did the 200 straight days of Joe Dispenza's meditations, and now after a couple months after that of like meditating once a week, I'm on another like 40-day trend here, and I can't ignore it any longer. I meditated. It completely changed my life. I stopped meditating. My life got worse. I started meditating again, and my life gets measurably better. So I can't ignore it any longer. This is for me. So I want to do what I can to share it and hopefully help anybody out there start their meditation practice. So my first step that I wrote here is you must have firm intention and determination to become a new you. Meaning, basically when you sit there and you put headphones on or you shut your eyes or whatever it is and you just eliminate the outside world. And I'll say this real quick. Jogging isn't a meditation. Sports is, if you're defining meditation by what the word means, then maybe it's a meditation. But the way that I define meditation and how it's changing my life is eliminating sensory input, sitting still. And sure, I'll move, I'll think, things will happen, but I just need to, ground myself back in the present moment and sit there, slow down my breathing. And I'll get into it anyways, but I just want to say that right there is what I mean by meditation. So when you start to do that, you're going to have these thoughts that come in, and they're going to say a bunch of things like, oh man, my time would be much more useful if I was just doing this right now. Or, oh, I have this itch, I need to move. Your body will start to think for itself and start like kicking and moving and like squirming. And it's quite interesting to see how little control you have of your body at the beginning, because you'll find yourself moving and you'll find your eyes opening, and it's like, okay, shut my eyes, I'm back in this meditation. It's hilarious to see how that'll happen. But the reason the number one step is you must have firm intention and determination to become a new you is because your subconscious will convince you that this isn't working. Your subconscious will convince you that you better not do this, and you could be doing way more important things right now. And, my life isn't all that bad. I'd like to go and actually do something. This boredom is killing me. And that right there is the part of us that literally becomes addicted to the familiar. So we get so scared of the unknown. We get so scared of our own minds. Like, oh my God, I don't know where my mind would go or how I would handle this present moment if I wasn't staring at a screen right now, or if I wasn't listening to music right now, or if I wasn't doing something with my hands right now. We find the unknown so scary. And so you must have firm intention and determination to become a new you, to stick to this practice, because if you don't have a motivation or inspiration that is greater than these patterns, then the patterns will win. Your subconscious will win this battle, and you will go right back down to ego consciousness. You'll go right back down to, grasping onto the familiar world and never going into the unknown and discovering a new version of yourself, a new version of your life. You'll never go into that unknown, the place you have to go to find it. So how do you develop that firm intention? There are many ways. I think the number one thing for myself at the beginning was to know that it's possible. I need to remind myself as much as possible. I need to repeat it to myself every single day that through meditation, I can heal myself. Through meditation, I can grow as a human. Through meditation, I can learn and I can overcome these deep patterns, whether they be caused by traumas or, getting picked on when you were young, or these embarrassing moments that happen throughout your life and all these guilts and shames that you build up. I know that through meditation, I can overcome that and I could become a new version of myself. And I'd say it over and over. And then I would go on the internet and I'd look up other people who have received these benefits as well through meditation, so that I can basically beat it into my subconscious that this is the path for me. And no matter what you say to me, this is what I have to do. And I think just by doing that, I was able to make it a daily thing where I would not miss a day. I wouldn't want to miss a day. So that is, a really good way of getting that, of having that determination and motivation to actually stick to it and get benefits. Because the beautiful thing is that the more you know it's possible, the more you know what meditation will do to you, the more you get more out of your meditation. Even just mentally, it's almost like this kind of placebo effect in a sense, where you sit down and if you think that meditation's pointless, then you're probably going to have a crappy meditation. But if you know for a fact that this is your ticket to freedom, just being in this silence, then it'll hit different, so to speak. So yeah, I'm just reading this real quick. So yeah, the idea behind meditation, I've said it before, but again, slowing down the breathing, shutting your eyes, eliminating sensory input, and basically you're getting deep into the subconscious mind where the work actually takes place, where you can actually rewire yourself. It's like, you can't really solve a problem with the problem that created it. The conscious mind is on the surface and it has no effect of the subconscious. So the idea is when you slow down your mind and you slow down the brain waves and you slow down your breathing and things are just more chill and you're not operating in the familiar anymore. You're now in the unknown. That's the place where you can really begin to rebuild yourself, your personality, and the life that you want. And I'll put a bunch of stuff in the description, but I've heard this from a lot of people. Most recently, I follow Joe Dispenza. He's one of my favorite people to talk about meditation, and mostly because he sort of approaches it with hard evidence. He's got thousands of people that he's helped, hundreds of people of which have gone on YouTube on his channel and made videos about their experiences, which are so fun to watch. But yeah, he really gets into the science of this. I'm not, I wouldn't even begin to understand where to begin with all this. So I'm not a scientist. I will completely paraphrase, but all I can say is that this stuff works and nothing else. I've tried a lot of things, a lot of things. I've even tried that like EFT, something where you're like tapping certain parts of your body. It's a type of therapy. I tried doing that with myself. There's like the lateral eye movement therapy. There's a ton of things that apparently would help with trauma, help with getting into those patterns and like breaking those patterns in yourself, so you don't no longer have to live like chained to those things that keep you scared, that keep you insecure, that keep you whatever it is. So I've tried a lot of things, and meditation has been the thing for me. So it works. And I am a firm believer that our thoughts and our focus determine our reality. And it makes sense then for me that once you change your thoughts, you begin to change literally the course of your entire life. The people you run into, the people who reach out to you, the people that, even the people that you live with, which I've experienced. It's really cool to slowly see reality change when you change. And I'm seeing these numbers, 111, 222, 333, 444, whatever your beliefs are about that, doesn't matter. For me, I know for a fact that it is like the planets are aligning. And so if you think the same things every day, the same things are going to happen. You're going to be the same person, right? If we're a collection of thoughts and ideas and opinions and whatever, if that's the ego, then the ego is pretty much going to stay the same, and it's going to be firm and boring, if you ask me. I like change. I like people who change too. We don't like rigid people. So anyways, through meditation, I think, is the deepest way to change the course of your life. And it can happen so fast. I promise you, if you try this for just like a few days, you will notice a difference. And it is unbelievable. So anyways, the second thing that I wrote down here was rise above all contradicting thoughts and do it. So what I mean by that, again, is like when you sit down, you will have those thoughts. They'll be like, even before you sit down. Before you sit down, you'll think, okay, I'm going to meditate for an hour. And then a thought will come in and you'll be like, but I don't have time for an hour, maybe like 40 minutes. And then you're like, oh my God, 40 minutes sounds so long. How about 20 minutes? And then you're like, okay, maybe 15. 15 minutes solid, I'll do it, let's go. And then you're doing it, and halfway through the 15 minutes, you're like, oh my God, this is the longest fucking thing in the world. And then you end up just having a shitty time, not really having a good experience with meditation. So, rise above all contradicting thoughts. This is the part of you that is addicted to the familiar, the part of you that doesn't want you to change. I know that sounds crazy. It literally does. For me, when I stopped meditating after 200 days, I started grinding my teeth at night because of stress. And then I recognized in myself months down the road that, I've gone to the store and I've bought a mouth guard. I went to the orthodontist. I'm trying to figure out this grinding teeth thing because I would rather grind my teeth than to sit and actually center my energy and heal myself from the inside out. And guess what? It happened. I finally recognized in myself that I was addicted to the known for so much, to the point where I was willing to just grind my teeth, then go back to meditation. Because that part of myself did not want to change. And that's how the brain is. Like we reject change. We take in patterns. We love the familiar. And obviously it's sort of this like fight or flight survival mechanism in us, but we're not surviving anymore. It's like overkill. I realized that there are very few things that make me accept change as much as meditation. So rise above all of those thoughts that keep you chained, because you'll realize that there's a part of you addicted to your stress. There's a part of you addicted to your depression, addicted to all these things. One, it's an identity thing. I am this, I am that. Even being a victim to anything kind of feels good because you're blaming something and now you deserve some sort of special attention because you're a victim. Whatever that is, we get so addicted to these things and they're not worth it. They're not worth it. They're comfortably terrible, really. Like, they're comfortable, but it's miserable. But we're comfortable in our misery. It's so strange. So anyways, rise above those contradicting thoughts and do it. You could do it to music. You could do it to meditate, or to sounds of nature. You could do a guided meditation. I'm going to link my favorite guided meditations below, because I personally love guided meditations very much. And they're here on YouTube. They're easy to find. They're free. And like, it's just, we're so privileged to have all this information. And every single day, like when I give gratitude to things, I give gratitude to the idea that I know meditation exists. I give gratitude to the fact that there are people talking about this. And, the people who sort of gave their testimonial to Joe Dispenza's work, and Joe Dispenza himself, they don't even know how much they've affected my life. And so I want to be that person to like also perpetuate this stuff. So anyways, I'll put those in the description, all the guided meditations. But I want to also talk about how we can keep it a daily practice. And I'm just going to have a sip of tea because this is getting cold. So, keeping it a daily practice for a lot of people is very difficult. And for the reasons I mentioned before, we get addicted, and breaking those patterns is extremely uncomfortable. And you'll even find physical things. Like for a bit there, I found my eyes would not stop moving. And it gave me a headache while meditating. I couldn't control the movement of my eyes. Now I've since overcome it, but it felt like a part of my body was like, no. I don't want to stop looking. I don't want to stop being stimulated in some way because the unknown is so scary. So again, the daily meditation is a struggle for a lot of people. How I did it is I set a challenge for myself. I said 200 days. And I mean, you could do 1,000 days, you could do 1,000,000 days, you could do it for the rest of your life. You could say day 1 of the rest of my life, whatever it is for you. And I wrote it down in a journal. So day 1, here were my thoughts. Here was my meditation. Here's how it was. This is what I want out of my meditation. This is what I'm after. And I'm just so grateful that I have this, and then I would, I would do it. I would keep going. Day 2, day 3, day 4. And keeping a journal with it was amazing. So, as much as I tried structuring this, it's not very structured, but the first step, you must have firm intention and determination to become a new you, to stick to this thing. And you must rise above all contradicting thoughts and do it. And that's step 2. Step 3 is never give up. Keep going. Practice. Keep it, as daily as you can. Personally, I meditate twice a day. Sometimes I don't. If I'm going to bed at 2 a.m. and I've had a super long day, I'm not going to meditate before bed. But every other day, like 99% of the time, I meditate twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And so step 3 is, keep it going. Keep that consistency, and don't allow yourself to go back to that, addicted to the familiar, addicted to these limiting beliefs and emotions, addicted to the known. Don't allow yourself to go back there. And you probably will. I did. I just told you about it. I meditated for 200 days and then I screwed up and I was on my ass after 3 months of not really doing it daily. And but I realized that when you go for anything, you risk failing. You risk failing. When you sign up for, a gym membership or something, that you risk yourself, eventually screwing up. But right now you have the determination, and it's important to just go for it. Would I have been at day 1 and say, oh, well, if I'd known that after 200 days I wouldn't stick to it, then what's the point? You don't say that. You just do what you can. And if you fall off, you get back on and you move forward. You don't look back. You say, all right, we're back on it. Let's go. I messed up. Everybody messes up. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Let's go. Because what do I want? And you keep that firm intention and that determination and that eye on the ball. I'm talking about this like it's this big serious thing. But really, I'm talking about doing nothing. I'm talking about spending time with yourself, spending time in your inner world, talking about the simple act of not doing. And it's interesting how humans work because, you know, there's entire courses and classes and groups about quitting smoking, quitting drinking, whatever. And it's like, wouldn't it be to a robot, you know, something that isn't biologically, doesn't have a human brain, but smart, and looks at it and says, well, that doesn't make sense to me because isn't it as simple as not doing? You know, don't put the cigarette to your lips. Don't put the bottle to your mouth. Don't swallow the alcohol. Don't inhale the smoke. But we humans are far more complex. So I find it actually funny that I'm talking about keeping your eye on the ball when really it's a simple act of not doing and breaking those addictive patterns. It's very interesting. And this is the subject that has been basically fascinating me the most. And I put so much of my personal hope in my meditation practice. And I'm not like, I'm not saying this will solve every single one of your problems. It very well could, but maybe it could not. The point is, the thing that I think gets me to, get the most out of this is having my hope in knowing that every single day I'm like changing my energy. I'm changing the way I think. I'm changing my personality. I'm changing, I'm releasing stored up BS from the past. And I feel lighter every single day. And I just have this like, oh man, it's like no matter what happens today, I don't care. Before bed, I'm going to meditate. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to meditate. That night, I'm going to meditate. And I'm just going to feel better and better and better and better and better. When you get good at this stuff, it's so fun to sit there and see these patterns for what they are. To have that clarity. That clarity is so sweet. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing like overcoming yourself in that sense. It's so beautiful. So, again, when it comes to how to meditate, I just want to say once more, sit. I suggest at least 30 minutes. At the very least 30 minutes. Ideally, if you have the time, 1 hour is beautiful. Not both times, maybe in the morning, an hour, at night at 30 minutes. That's usually what I do. But ease yourself into it if you want to. But if you want to jump in and change your life in literally a week, I'm not even kidding, like this might be for you. And just give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Whatever. Everybody's different. I'm just really trying to do my best to share this because I am so grateful that I stumbled upon, at the right place, right time, somebody talked about meditation, and here I am. My life is like so much better. So, yes, sit 30 minutes. You got this. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk more about meditation in the future. And I actually plan on doing my own guided meditations eventually. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to email me, you can email me at humbowltv@gmail.com, HUMBOWL@gmail.com. That is where you can get in contact with me personally, and we can have a conversation. I can answer any personal questions, and we could just talk and connect and video chat if that's something you're interested in or anything like that. If you want to support me for what I do, there is a PayPal link below. You can donate whatever you want. I'm leaving that open to the public. And yeah, that's basically it. Thanks again. And I will hopefully have these guided meditations in the future. But for now, in the description, there will be some cool resources, guided meditations, a bunch of stuff that you could look up concerning everything I've talked about in this video. So thanks again, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.